Hands on helmets. 10 seconds.
Welcome. I'm Chris McKean.
And I'm Andy Kiner.
We're all about cross-country racing, and typically it starts with 10 seconds.
But not in Iowa. In Iowa, Chris, it starts with hands-on helmets.
Yes.
And then where does it go? Scoring. Are we ready? Scoring. Are we ready?
Oh, got the first jab in. I got you.
Throwing it out there.
Oh, we'll see. Challenge accepted in a few days. So
I will take that.
we'll be on time. Scoring will be.
Well, scoring on time. Track crew gets there Wednesday night. You don't have to be there till what? You coming Friday night or Saturday morning?
I'll be there Friday afternoon.
I know our week's about done by the time you get there, but anyway. Hey, we appreciate you being there whatever, though, so it's all good.
Oh, such me. I have things to do here Thursday nights. I got to get all behind the scenes stuff ready.
That's good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if we had that first race.
Would have been good. We're all good. All good. Excited, man. Take 2, round 1.
Yeah.
You know that R word's out there floating already. Everybody's looking at the forecast, which we'll talk about it later. Give you a track update.
Absolutely.
We got some guests. 2 out of the 3. One's still at dance. I think she's going to be joining us. And no, it's not CJ at dance. It's actually Mimi at dance tonight.
Really?
I thought so too, but
I thought maybe it was like a father-daughter dance you were getting to here.
Maybe. So no, it's good to catch up with this family. I mean, I see their posts all the time. I know we've commented on them in the last few weeks. So you ready to bring them on?
That's one reason we wanted to reach out to them. You know, it's cool seeing all those posts and all the practice and everything. So yeah, it's always good. But yeah, I'm ready if you are.
Yeah, we can bring them on.
Track's
and
ready.
Like I said, towards the end, we'll give a track update and give a recap on the festivities for this weekend.
Sweet.
Bring them on. Welcome.
Hi.
Hey guys.
Hey. How we doing?
Good.
What?
CJ, I was just informed that you dance also.
You know, I actually was conned into dancing at a kind of year-end celebration. I had to go up on stage with Mimi, so I was rather embarrassed, but I still did it like a good dad. So,
Hoyt, I will pay you if you can get us that video.
I don't have it, but I can sneak into the next daddy-daughter dance, and I will try to get a video of it, guys. I will get it to you.
Okay, I appreciate it. We won't tell your dad, okay?
We'll do that.
Cool. So, you know, Chris just mentioned all the videos, you know, we've been mentioning lately. And let's be honest, we haven't had a race yet, so that all that talk stuff isn't going. So what do? You go to social media, you get to see what everybody's doing. You know, you're one of the families that posts a lot for us. And I don't mean a lot like too much. I was telling my wife just literally half hour ago, it is so cool when we have the time to do this kind of stuff, because I appreciate what most people overlook, I think, and that is what the parents do, because
Yeah.
the kids don't always have the opportunities unless the parents make the time to make this stuff happen, and we see like, I don't know how many times over the winter I seen like, oh, Mimi's really found another gear,
Right.
and you see Hoyt's out there, coming. It's like she picks it up when he comes up from behind, and
Yeah.
it's just
Oh, yeah.
really cool to have that big brother, big sister, thing going. And the parents, obviously, you guys are nothing but supportive of everything that these guys and gals have done, so I think it's cool. It's almost like a whole nother chapter for us to start looking into, not just the races, but what gets you to the races and then in between. And I know we'll talk about in a minute. You guys are going to some other races, which is awesome. See all the practicing at home. And sometimes I see it's an oval, isn't it?
Yeah. So when we're practicing, we're fortunate enough. We've got a lot of timber as well. So we've got a timber track set up. We've got kind of an intermediate course, we call it. It's got a lot of bumps and some jumps and really tight hairpin turns like you'd see like at the Iowa State Fair.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why they really have taken the Iowa State Fair. They really like that race. And then we've got, a circle track, and that comes from me. I love dirt late model racing, and I've been playing with that with our track loader, getting it to shape just right. And
You got it so good that you can see it from Google Maps.
yeah, you can see it from Google Maps. Yep.
Really? Nice.
My wife gave me a hard time about that. So,
Oh,
but the good news is, you make a good point. The parents do a lot. I do quite a bit, but my wife Stacy, she didn't want to be on camera, but she's really the glue that holds it together. She does so much in the background, and not many people get to hear that. So
I really can't do this without him.
Right.
Oh.
And
Oh,
you can't do it without him as well. So,
look who just showed up.
like,
Hi, Mimi.
he's like my biggest supporter, and he does it all for us. And I'm very thankful for him doing this.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I have a good time too. It's a lot of fun chasing them, even though I can't keep up with them anymore.
Yeah,
So,
but we need to get him into the utilities. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
maybe
one race. One
See-
race.
CJ can line up by Travis Troy, right?
there we go. We can do
See?
it together.
I'm sure both of your wives will be just tickled pink.
There we go.
Well, Stacy's always told me that if I do that, she would laugh at me every time I go by. So
Maybe that's a,
she's real supportive.
Probably would.
I keep saying that we don't need any more classes. I love our class. Like it or love it, you know what I mean, or hate it, whatever. I think it's really good right now as far as ages, and it hits everything without getting too crazy, right?
Right.
But maybe the one that I could do would be like the youth racer, the youth parents racing. We start up a class with just the parents. That could be fun.
Right.
That could be a lot of fun. So maybe we could get like Hoyt and Mimi out there leading Dad around to make sure you can make it all the way around.
There we go. There we go. Or they can do the pit stops for us. How about that?
Yeah,
There you go.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh.
So really quick before we go on, you mentioned that you're a big dirt track. What part of dirt track or what style is it that you like?
Well, I said I really love the dirt late models, and it's just that's what I grew up on. My brother grew up; he worked for a race team, and I was around it a little bit, and just kind of fell in love with it. It's just the whole thing. Once you hit the traction, just mash the gas, and it's an art. It's just like hair scramble racing. Right? There's a throttle and a whole balance there, and that's what I kind of been telling them, like getting in and out of corners, like, enter a little high and come out low. Like, you surprised how many people you can pass that way.
Right.
And
There's
it's just, go ahead, bud.
there's like a fine line between what we call calculating and a kamikaze driver.
Well, Days of Thunder, yes.
And, it's been awesome to, like, for me to reflect and see where I started as a kamikaze driver, and now I feel like I'm a pretty smart racer.
Yeah.
His first year in the 90 was a little rough. He was fast. The 40 minutes in, he was going on his side or hitting a tree. So,
But you know
So
what?
how many years have you guys been racing?
I think this is the 6th year for Hoyt, I think, and should be year 4 for Mimi, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my first year on the 90.
Yeah, it's your first year on the 90. That's right.
Look out,
And I-
guys. Look
And
out.
I still remember you scaring me on the electrics.
I was just going to
Right.
say something.
The John Deere Gator. Oh, yeah.
We still have that thing. Powered by
I think-
Milwaukee.
I think if we would have voted for most popular rider in the electrics, I think you would have stole that, Mimi.
That's all her.
Yeah. Huh. So who's your driver, CJ?
Who's my driver?
Yeah, who if you had to pick a favorite driver in late models?
Well, it used to be Brian Burkhofer. Kind of now it's kind of a mixed bag. Like there's some of them like Brian Shirley. I like rooting for him, the squirrel. There's a couple there. Ryan Gustin, just because he's from Iowa and he does a pretty good job. He's good on the national scene. So there's a handful I like to root for.
Yep.
So.
Cool. I'm just curious.
Yep.
So, all right. So I got a question. Hoyt, you said that you feel like you've gotten better, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the most or the main thing that you've learned from like time that you got in, not from your dad or your sister, anybody else, just from racing other racers? Because let's face it, when you're out there on the track, you're out there with a ton of racers, right?
Yeah. I feel like I gotta think about that for a second, because there's a lot of things I've learned from my mom and dad, like shifting, the most important thing in the 90s. And
Yeah.
I've learned from like maybe the passing kind of.
Yeah.
But on the track, it's just like it's a survival race out there, and especially like that 300 race, it really opened my eyes on like how much of an endurance race cross country is.
Mhm.
It isn't flat tracking it and going hard everywhere. It's you got to stay consistent, same line, same path that you like have consistently like not gotten stuck on, have got going fast on. So I feel like that's been my thing that I've been racing. Like the thing I've learned from racing the most is like be smart with your driving.
Yep. So the
Yeah.
one thing that I see a lot when we're out there watching you guys, and Mimi will run into this, I guarantee you, with as many 90s as we have, but it's always interesting to me because there's times where we get somebody that's really new, and one of my guys will be like, hey, keep an eye on, this one, you know what I mean? And we'll try to watch them for that. But what we see a lot is when they first come up there, now you're having to shift, how many things change when you go to that clash. You don't have a clutch, but you still got to shift. And when you're doing that kind of stuff, at one point you probably were one of those that you felt like everybody's running over me, like I'm holding people up and I'm getting past. Okay. Now you have kind of graduated, and now we see you out there making a ton of these passes. Is there anything that you learned though from when you felt like you were maybe holding some people up to now coming up on that person that you might feel like is holding them up on like how to get around, or how do I, how am I smart to get around this where I don't put myself in a bad position?
Yeah, I feel like it's been like the smart to where like you're smart passing, not getting into a bad position. But there is some times where I just there are some times where I let off when I'm not supposed to, but it's still going to get me into a good position. And sometimes I got to just take that leap. I feel like I kind of want myself to do that a couple times this year.
Sometimes you got to use your voice a little bit too.
Yes. That 300 is just pulling the clutch and stuff.
And how are you adapting to the clutching?
I feel like really well. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but again, it's just muscle memory. You got to keep working it.
Yep. You know, CJ, I get a lot of parents say that they're scared. God, he or she is going to be moving up, and now we got a clutch, and we're going 2 hours. You know, we got a lot bigger hills, a lot longer track. But I always tell everybody, have you ever sat down? Not counting Chris, because he's actually pretty good at this. I hate to give him credit, but have you ever sat down and played a video game with kids?
Yeah, I have. And it's amazing how much slower I am now, the older I am, compared to them. And like
Right.
their reactions are so fast with things. And
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know if my processor is just slowing down that much more. I don't know. But
I always try to use that example with parents just getting started. It's
Right.
like you can throw a racing game or whatever it might be game at a kid that's 5 years old, 4 years old, 8 years old, whatever it might be. And it may be tough, but within a day, almost a day, they've got it to where I'm beating the guy that used to beat me just because they're not thinking, they're just doing, it's just
right.
like you said, memory,
Also,
and to me, it's that way with the throttle and the clutch. At first you can get really frustrated and not to step on anybody's toes, but I'm always speaking honest here. Lots of times when you get frustrated, wait, I'm not saying this is you, but lots of times I've seen parents like yell at the kids, like, no, don't do that. But I always slide on the things of, yes, make mistakes because you learn from that, you know? And I just feel like the kids, it's almost like a life-size video game. They pick up the clutching. Anytime they go to a different machine when they're younger, it's a lot easier than if you're starting out at 30 years old and have never been on a clutch.
yeah.
That guy's in big trouble compared to that 9-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like what you're saying, like I've learned there's been some major things that I've learned, some kind of minor, some kind of major of things like I've learned not to do, like throw my goggles, hold on to the GoPro. That was terrible. That was what, last year's Heartland?
So to clarify this,
Or not.
going with what you're saying there, the kids are able to absorb so much information and learn quickly when they want to. There's been a few things, we've had a couple hard wrecks where they're more concerned about the GoPro that came loose and they didn't want to lose the GoPro and they end up wrecking, and things like that. And sometimes it's like, hey, I know you're racing, but take it easy, especially if you're running a bigger machine with a clutch, first time on a big track, take it easy.
Yeah.
But sometimes they just go bahan in there and they learn really quickly that, hey, a tie rod isn't replaceable on the track. So, there's items like that they'll pick up. The shifting too, sometimes it's one of the hardest things I think is like for Mimi, especially like she's learning this year to shift. She's picking it up and actually a little faster than I thought she would. Whereas Hoyt had a lot of trouble early on with it, like he short shift all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing how different they are too. So that's the only thing I can say to the parents is learn at their own rate, and you just gotta be patient and just say a prayer that, hey, they'll be okay. And a dog tracker's nice too to have, so you know where they're at.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
is a great piece of advice. Like with your kids, if you're new to racing and you want to know exactly where they are, my uncle Kevin has done this with his son, and he put a dog tracker on the back of his chest protector, and it like knows exactly when they are, and when they're treed, that means either they're stuck or they wrecked. And I feel like it's a really nice tool. It's helped us a lot.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Chris probably remembers this. I can't remember who it was, but we used to have somebody, I think in the adults, and the dad came to me one time and like, hey, they're stuck over such and such. I thought, okay, they got a phone, they called, or something. And no, he shows me with this dog tracker. And I'm like, what is this? And I always seen them. I think there was a boy and a girl or two boys or something in the family. And but they just always knew right where the kids were. And I thought that was, and the crazy thing is and I don't know, I've never had the dogs to do that kind of stuff with, but I don't know if that's real expensive. I mean, obviously knowing where your kids are, there's really not a price tag, but compared to other stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like
It's one of those things like, you know, a helmet costs a ton of money, but it's like we wouldn't send them out there without it.
Correct.
You know, it's kind of one of those things like, yeah, initially it was kind of costly, but it's like the peace of mind knowing that, hey, they're still moving, they're still going through the track, they're not holed up somewhere. That helps a lot because my wife, she's one that, you know, she grew up in a wrestling family. Her brother is Kevin Nemke, and then their cousin Derek, you know, races, and she will not go on that line because she has a lot of anxiety about it, but she's kind of like going in there like, yo, kill, go get him, you know, and she's got to kind of hold herself back a little bit. That's the way it was with wrestling. Hoyt wrestled a little bit, and she could not go on the mat because she would get too involved, you know. But no, it definitely adds a lot of peace of mind. And it's a really helpful tool. So that's the way we use it.
So speaking of the parents, again, that's one of the things I really kind of want to highlighted. How do you, and I know she didn't want to be on here, but I had questions for moms and dads. And that is, we have new parents. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see 30 to 40 new kids out there this year. So many people are looking and coming and asking all these questions, you know. What's your advice, or you think her advice would be to that new family coming to race for the first time? Because let's be honest, we've all heard this before. He's really fast on the farm. Nobody can keep up with him.
Right.
But when you put them in a group of 20, 30, you know, quads, everything changes, you know.
It does.
The way you think of everything, but not only that, but it changes for the way the parents think. So when let's go back to when you guys first started with you and your wife. How did you guys manage, I guess you call it nerves, you know what I mean, of them going out? What was your take back then?
I'll be honest, like my heart was just racing the first time he was on the line, and the problem was I was trying to keep calm on the outside because I knew Stacy was really, really anxious and nervous too. And but the best thing I could look at was that, you know, you guys with the track workers, you guys are phenomenal with that, and especially watching over the little ones. That really, to me, knowing that, hey, they're going to be going around following, and there's always somebody going through. That was another peace of mind, knowing that, hey, if something happens, somebody will be there. And that kind of helps relax it about halfway. And then the other is just like, you're going to be anxious until you see them and they're back at your trailer or back at the truck. So, but just know it's going to be okay. They're fine. They've got protective gear. If they crash, they're going to be okay. And just know that. And, you know, sometimes it helps saying a little good luck to them and saying, all right, you know, you even pat the machine, say, all right, take care of that kid, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about the main thing you can do is just know that you guys are there watching out for them just as much as anyone. So that's really the best advice I have. So.
And has that changed at all from the 6 years ago starting and her 4 till now? How do you address it any different now that they've been out there for so long?
I guess I'm a little bit calmer because they are a little bit more experienced. Yes. And they kind of know what they're doing for the most part. They know what areas to follow or arrows to follow. So I know they're going to do their part, even though they still have issues every once in a while, but still it's the old track workers are there just in case. And like I said, we're tracking them. It's okay. We still get nerves every race. It's normal to be nervous. It's okay. The parents, I always say, are more nervous than the kids are. The kids just want to go, you know, and we're there fretting about it. So, no, it gets better in time. It does. So.
And so I'm gonna get away from the racing just for a second with the parents. How does coming? I know you've got other family there, racers and stuff. but how have you seen like your kids when they come to the races? I tell everybody the racing is actually the smallest part of the whole weekend. You know,
Right.
before, I know you guys don't typically camp all the time, but the before the race and after the race, have you seen your kids? I can see, like, I guess honestly, my kids, I couldn't see it as much because I'm always with them, but I can see like your kids and other kids, I see them grow, not necessarily physical all the time, but just as a person, like getting to know more friends and seeing them hang out. And, you know, it's just, I see them grow that way. Do you see anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. I think when we first started, it was kind of, hey, we're the new kids on the block. We don't know anybody, but over time, just talking with people and striking up a quick conversation, it's amazing just as parents who we come to know and can talk to, but the kids themselves too. They just, hey, there's a person, I'm gonna go talk to them, and before long, after a couple of years, it's like we get to the track after they're done racing. It's like, I don't know, they went off with a friend. They'll be back here sometimes. So that's great to see is them, developing those relationships with other kids and also the parents, talking to each other, because sometime or another, we all have to help each other out. There's going to be something, whether it's kids getting stuck and, hey, help the kids get up, or machine breaking and, hey, somebody has a spare part, it's really what it's all about, coming together, helping each other out.
And that's where I think the wins are awesome. Every kid wants to win. I get that. But to me, it brings a tear to my eye when I see stuff like what you just said. When I see those kids grow into that and they go from, I'm here to race, to where a couple of years ago, I know you'll remember this, Chris, we seen a little girl crying because her friend broke down, right before the finish. Right. It just, and they never knew each other until they started racing, and it's seeing them literally grow as a person, not as a racer. As a racer, we expect to see that, and I'm not just trying to pat our series on the back. I think that's, I guess, me growing over the years, and Chris and I talking, that's still probably one of the neatest things that we see all year long is the kids, and not just the kids, the parents coming together and learning that, hey, we're there kind of for a bigger purpose, not just the plaques and the t-shirts and stuff, and I don't know. That's literally a pat on the back to every family that's there, all the racers. It's not something that like a small group is making happen. That's by having great people coming together, just for a common, thing that we like, and becoming a bigger situation, by finding that higher purpose and the kids getting to know everybody. And like you were saying, we used to get there on a Thursday or even a Wednesday when my kids were younger. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you, Chris can back me up on this. I had no idea where my kids were until usually 10, 11 o'clock that night. And sometimes we got a quick call or one of them would come running over and say, I'm staying at Joe's trailer. Okay. But we didn't have to worry about it because of all the great people around. It's not like you're in a place where you got to worry. We have so many good people. I trust my kid wherever family he's with at that track, and there's people feeding the kids. There's people, having games for them. We see all this kind of stuff. And that's what really warms my heart, is kind of seeing the families come together and the kids, finding out it's more than just racing.
Yeah, it's like a community.
Exactly.
That's what it's built. It's like, though on the track, like, I mean, it's competition. We're going hard, but also after the race, it's like, hey, the race is already over. Let's go have some fun.
Yeah. So if you had to pick one, and I always hate doing one, but if you had to pick one of the people that you race with, Hoyt, and say afterwards, I'll guarantee you, as soon as I get my stuff on, I'm running over to that trailer. Who is that?
Probably, Cash.
Cash. Yep.
Guy's last name. Stewart. Yeah, Stewart.
And is he one of them that pushes you on the track?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the person who would push me and then just blazed past me.
Yeah. Couple years ago, Cash would keep pushing right behind Hoyt the entire race. Hoyt would make one mistake, and then Cash was gone. And
Come
it's
on.
like you gotta keep consistent. You change your line just a little bit, he's gone. But no, he's a great kid, and they like to pal around quite a bit. So
Yeah, that's cool. Mimi, how about you?
who do you like to see?
Chloe.
Chloe?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like Chloe. Yep.
Now, which one's Chloe? I'm trying to remember.
I'm Cash's sister.
Cash's sister. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yep. Sorry. I went to a different family. I was thinking of a different one. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Huh. Well, that
So-
makes it easy because you're all at one trailer then,
Yeah.
or one pit, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to let you answer with Derek because I know you're going to say Derek. Okay.
How do you
But-
know?
But if you pick one adult racer that you want to watch, who's that? Or
Derek.
maybe somebody that you, outside a family member that you really respect and you watch him on the track and stuff. Who's your favorite racer like that?
I mean, I don't really watch any other racer besides Derek, so can't really answer that one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
so if you had
But if we were to do like professional racers, me and her would probably say Adam McGill,
Adam McGill,
Yep.
the Gator.
They both did Adam's training there last year, and somebody was a little smitten with him
Oh,
because he's a good racer. That's why.
He's a good racer.
Pretty smitten with him. So
what did you learn most out of that clinic?
I honestly feel it's just like tuning up some skills that I already knew, but most importantly, he kind of like. So what you do is that there's like a slit in your boot, and you like lock it into your foot pegs. That's probably the most
Yeah.
important thing.
I did that too.
Yeah, I mean,
Huh.
very important. So I like to toe out. I like my feet to toe out during the race, but I need to keep them toed in because I don't want to snag a tree and like break my leg.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
So did you enjoy that school then?
I honestly, it was really fun, but that motocross track was built for 450s, not a 90. I was chugging along, but there was like a little timber section that was really, really fun.
Yeah.
Catching up with those 125s up there, so
Okay, five.
that was a fun time.
Did you enjoy it too, Mimi?
oh, yeah. Anytime she can go in and get muddy, she enjoys it. So.
Yeah.
You're right.
all right. So as we look forward to the racing starting this weekend, what are each of your guys' goals for this year?
Beat Wyatt Styles.
Shift.
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 That is shift. Yeah.
I just have a feeling that me and Wyatt Styles are going to clash this year because Wesley last year was just gone. I could not catch up with him, but it's a clean slate. Wyatt Styles, I gotta get up to him. So that 90 is probably going to be running hard.
That's great. I
Which
like that.
which track are you guys looking most forward to this year?
Honestly, the Penn one for me. But if you guys are doing like the other side of the lake for Murray, it's probably Murray.
I'm saying Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause that's kind of a home race for us in
I was
Oregon.
gonna say, isn't that because it's the
It's
closest?
close to us.
Yeah.
Isn't
We're directly between Cahokia and Mount Pleasant, so it's like we got a double home track. So.
Yeah.
There you go. I think Mount Pleasant, I mean, it's got some hills in it, not real big, but it's
Yeah.
tight stuff, and there's a little open. And I think Mount Pleasant's always been what I consider one of the best overall youth tracks. I
Yeah.
think it's pretty challenging,
That's
It's
for
funny.
sure.
The one that says it's not challenging, I help off of a tree all the time. So
right.
Just not.
No, that's the thing. Hoyt's always done good at Mount Pleasant for the most part. I mean, I say for the most part because one time he came down wrong jumping a creek and bent his axle really, really bad. So it's
Yeah.
like, well, it's kind of been, yeah, you got your ebbs and flows, you know.
Yeah.
So, parents, what's your favorite track that you look forward to every year?
The one where they come out, the machines are good and they're not broke. That's whatever track that is.
Yeah.
So to be honest, you know, kind of like Cahokia quite a bit. It's close and you know, it's just, I don't know. There's just something about it. It's kind of nice, and there's a lot of spots you can actually see the kids
Yes.
running around. So you can cut through and get over to a whole nother section. It's great. So
Yeah, it's
Good.
like
Good.
Cahokia is I kind of like Cahokia too, but I like the track, but it's for another reason because
Yeah.
sometimes our other uncle comes down and it's really nice to see him. Like it's really nice to see some of our relatives that really don't come to races. It's
Yeah.
really nice to see them come because it's an amazing feeling to like when you're out there on the track and then you come into like scoring. If they're there, you're just very excited to see them. That's
Absolutely.
Yep.
The benefits of a home track, huh?
Yeah, the benefits of home track.
Yep. So I got to ask you, Hoyt, do you ever have issues coming through scoring?
Not really. It's
No?
been clean.
Good.
Mud likes me.
You just
So far,
kind of wish that they would be on time a little bit more.
No. That's just how it is.
I
mean,
can't even
maybe-
baiting, can I?
Maybe just quicken up my laps by 5 minutes. That'd be good.
Well, man, I
Yeah.
sure appreciate you guys coming on. I know it was kind of a late notice type situation,
No,
but
no.
It's fine. It's fine.
we're
appreciate coming on. And
we're happy to
we've
be
been-
here. So thank you for the invitation.
yeah, and once again, parents, great job creating the opportunities for the kids, and you know, and a lot of people seem to think that we don't want you going other places to race. It's just the opposite. We only do 7 races a year for a reason, you know, and that's so that you can dance and you can play baseball and you can do whatever and have life. But
Yeah.
you know, for the ones that want to do more racing, there's only 7 of ours, so it creates a really good opportunity to go other places and go
Yeah.
see how they do it and enjoy it. And obviously, you've been doing really good on the results that we've seen. So congratulations on your first full race on a 300 and a win at the same time, huh?
It's
Yeah.
been fun. Like, and I think last year was our record year for most races because we had all the Missouri tracks. Like what 7? That's 14 with you
Eight of them, I
guys.
think. Yeah.
So that's
Wow.
15 with you guys, and then we had like 3 motocross tracks. So we had a total of 18 races. It was fun, and we're planning to do that this year again. And with the 300, it's more races.
Well,
Yeah.
after last year, the parents were a little tired after the final race. We're like, oh, thankfully we're done. 2 weeks later, we're looking forward to this year. So,
Yep.
Yep. I hear you.
Yeah.
It's kind of how Chris is too. Well, it takes him about a month after by I wouldn't say a month, probably by banquet time you're ready to go, aren't you?
I try to have things going before the banquet, trying to get everything updated and try not to be the procrastinator, but it seems like something's always coming in at the last minute. So we'll
Yeah.
do what we can.
right.
But
Well, good job, kids and parents. We can't thank you enough. And again, big thumbs up for everything you guys are doing, creating opportunities, and your kids are taking advantage of learning on all those, it appears like. And we enjoy seeing it on social media and keeping us updated. So,
Well, we appreciate that. And that's one of those things, too, that I meet a lot of parents who are like, you let your kids run 4-wheelers and racing? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, because they learn so much out there. You know, they're out there with a lot of competitors, but they themselves have to learn how to dig deep and push themselves. And I always look back at the last race of Murray 2 years ago. Hoyt was in a 3-way battle for the points title, and everything that could have happened on the start. He got held up twice right on the start.
Yeah.
And he went in the Timber 18th out of 18 riders and stormed back to 4th. And He passed one right at the line, and it was one of the coolest point championships endings. Yeah, he didn't win it, but man, it was cool. It was cool for all of them, and it didn't matter who ended up first. It was great, and just watching the GoPro video of him was awesome because you could hear how frustrated he got at that start. He really put his head down and was just flying through there, and it was just one of those proud moments that I know he was hurting in it. He was emotionally distressed and upset, but man, he really came back and he dug deep. And it's really cool to see that with all of them.
You
Really.
said my tires never touched the ground.
Nope. They were off the ground a lot of the time.
That is awesome. That's the stuff, the stories that you just can't make up. You know what I mean? It's
You can't. It's
you
just
got
like
to actually feel it, be there, see it in order for it to really sink in. You know what I mean?
it's like one of those things. It's just some things you can make up. Like, wow, he was got dead last and they got first. But there's sometimes like you think it's fake, but you just gotta see it to believe it. And sometimes you just gotta believe it.
Exactly.
Believe in yourself, right?
Yep.
Yes, that is probably one of the most important things of racing. Even though there's some competition, you can still fight back. You can still get it.
That's right.
That's
Good words
awesome.
of encouragement.
That's right. That's great. Great advice right there. So cool. Well, we look forward to seeing you guys here in just a couple days.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it and hope it's not too muddy because I'm tired of power washing wheelers off already.
And
None of that. Don't talk like this.
no.
No, I knocked on wood earlier. We're going to be good. We're going to race. We're going to have a good time. It's looking good.
There will be no ITVHS HSS race 1 take 3.
Yeah, we're not doing it there.
We're not doing take 3.
We're racing.
Right. Exactly. All right. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate you coming on.
No, thank you so much. We greatly appreciate it.
All right. We'll see you.
All right, see you. Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
guys.
It's a lot of great advice from a youngster.
Very eager to share it.
It's amazing, isn't it? I think they said he'd been going 6 years.
Yes.
And that's that growth that we talked about from coming in green,
Yep.
to where now 6 years later, the advice that, he's able to give. And it's sometimes I think it's not fair. People talk about not being fair, right? When you got these kids that jump to B class and they think, well, God, how's he in the B? He's only 16. Well, Hoyt's already got 6 years experience,
Yeah.
and going to a full-size track this year on the 300, potentially. So,
Mhm.
I mean, these kids are learning a lot at a young age, and they get to where most of us started riding. And it's like, man, they're just shoulders above us,
It's all about opportunities and taking advantage of everything you get, right?
Absolutely.
Whether it's that extra seat time out on the farm or the yard to, maybe getting an additional race or two, or as I think Hoyt said, 18 races last year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And the one thing we didn't talk about there, I fully believe this, and I don't know if you've seen it from your kids, and not necessarily our kids, but you see it. It's just for the kids that start racing at a young age. What we never talk about them learning is the throttle, the brake, the following too closely. You know what I mean? Being able to get stopped. It creates really, really good prepared drivers. When they start getting into a vehicle, and stuff, most of the time they probably experienced a get off, where it's not like somebody that's never been tossed off and aren't scared of anything. They learn kind of what can happen. I just think just over the years, I've just noticed that, and it just seems like it does. It creates some really cool things for later in life for them,
So, yeah, let's talk about the race. Come on, couple days.
I'm excited. So a little race update for the track. I just got off the phone with the landowner about 2 hours ago. Says it looks really good there right now. There was a little washout on the driveway. I can't remember. I think they got like a couple loads of 2-inch rock coming, and they got a couple loads of 1-inch. They're going to get in there. I think it's Thursday. It's coming. They're going to fix a couple spots, but the road itself is really good shape. They're going to get that rock down. It's dried up, unbelievable. Everything is good. Now, please, I will be at the track tomorrow night. Okay. Please don't text. Please don't call, because yes, Chris, there is a forecast for some rain for Thursday night, Friday morning. I think they've taken it out Friday, Saturday, but Sunday there's supposed to be over 1 inch down there.
Okay.
Monday is like 1/10. But yes, there is rain in the forecast. So let me just answer all the questions really quick. Okay, Chris?
Okay.
When will we know if it's postponed? Well, keep watching. If you're worried about it, keep watching the social media, keep watching the website, and it will be posted ASAP. No, we are not going to make a call on if there's rain in the forecast. The last time was different because we had so much rain. We showed pictures of just how much it was rain that was holding, and then had more still coming. So we won't, it's everything that we're looking at, Chris, right now. It should be a perfect track.
Good.
We should be able to get them in there good. Yeah, I mean, it should be good. We're talking 1 inch between Thursday night and Friday morning, potentially. So but we're still 4 or 5 days, well, a couple days out there, but it changes every day. So I'm no meteorologist. It's the one thing that I should have been, because they can be wrong every day and they still get paid a nice amount of money.
Well, hold on. You don't have to be a meteorologist to meet that criteria.
Why is that?
To be wrong every day? Aren't you wrong?
You mean like going to scoring instead of
Oh.
meteorologist?
Yeah.
What do you? I'm not sure I'm following you.
So I saw a couple questions. Let's just kind of run through for those who are just joining in and kind of maybe missed 2 or 3 podcasts previously. Question out here in the comments about how the pre-registered, if they paid the gate fee. So new option this year, if you register through the website, pay for the race and the gate, all of that's done for you. When you come through the gate, there's a gate list. And you have it, and we will have it there at the gate. There's always when you come in, just give them your name. Some families did like it paid a gate fee per racer. Just let them know the racers' names, and we'll check you off the list. If you did go ahead and pre-register or prepay online, what do we have? 30 seconds or less count going. We'll try to get you in special. First race, give us a little leeway because we got to make sure all the youth have the AMA minor release forms. And then we also need to check AMA cards. So I did notice over the winter time that a lot of cards have expired. So we'll be just double checking those, make sure everybody's up to date on their AMA membership. If you fill out a questionnaire, the 199 folks that did so prior to yesterday, I noticed yesterday I got a couple that those will all be waiting at registration. Just got to come up to the window, let us know that you filled out a questionnaire. We'll get you out that form. You got to sign it, and we'll get you registered.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry, I'm getting another question. Is it an option to upload a picture of the AMA release form and AMA card? If you have the AMA release form for the youth, you can email it or take a picture and message it over to Tracy or myself. But we actually do need to see that AMA card there at the track so we can verify when we're loading it and make the final entry into the databases. I think that's it. We'll also have t-shirts available, number plates, numbers if you need them. Yeah, and then after that, it's just depending on what race session you're in, they will just go to the line. As always, you guys do a great job on the line, getting everybody all the rows assigned. So just pretty much look for your race class and line up in that row. Good to go.
So one thing I want to throw out before we even get to the race itself.
Yeah.
So this, you mentioned already though, but this is the first race. Not only is this the first race, it's the first time we've ever attempted to do this, and it was 100% off of the request from the riders and the parents and friends and family. And that was that pay for the gate, not having to pay cash that day. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So with that being said, I just want to warn everybody, it's all a brand new process. Okay. So we will make sure it's right, but it may need some, we think it's going to work how we got it set up, but just be a little patient coming through that gate. If you are worried about getting there on time, you might want to leave a little early, because that's one more thing we've got to do at the gate. So just making sure, we get that. The other thing Trace told me to mention, Chris, about that is if you have prepaid at the gate, for the gate, they still need to stop and sign. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
So everybody, no matter if you've prepaid for everything for the whole year, every race you have to stop at the gate no matter what and sign when you get there. That's very, very important for insurance wise and stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, still need to stop and sign in. The other thing I'm asked too is always just remember the people that we got people, and I know it happens, but the gate closes at 11. Those are the people at the gate are usually the same people that are there at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning and have been working all day to get the track ready for you. So if there's any way to get there before the gate closes, it would be much appreciated. But if for some reason you can't get there, let us know. We've tried to do our best to make sure we get everybody in, no one stranded out there. But please just, if it means stopping and eating or getting there on time, maybe get it to go and eat there when you get there. Because the people are tired and ready to get to bed and have to get up at, the gate's got to be back open at 6. So, and then also Trace mentioned also any parental with minors, don't forget to do your annual minor release.
Say that one more time.
Yeah. I don't know why she said parental, but
it's because
any parents with minors, don't forget to do your annual minor release. Another just quick reminder on that. And correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. I wish she was here to say this, but the big benefit of doing that is if you do that online, one time you're done for the year, right?
Correct.
That's
so if
filed.
you do the annual release online, then you only have to do it once, print out the form, and keep it with you. Some parents laminate them like their AMA card and just keep it on them. It helps. Otherwise, when you go, if you don't do one, you do have to fill out the minor release at every race.
Gotcha. So that's another big time saving to do it one time, and it's easy online.
And there's the link directly to the annual release form. So we had that saved.
Nice. So yeah, that's what I had as far as the gate on top of what you already talked about, was making sure that everybody realizes they have to stop. You can get all that taken care of. Maybe this question. I know we're working to get there, but as of right now, you can't physically pay with credit card at the gate, though, correct?
That's correct. So we're hoping to have that technology ready at round 2. So round 2, you'd be able to just swipe, tap your card there at the gate for the gate fee.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, the current process is it's if they don't have the cash and we can write it down, and a lot of people are good when they come up to register. They also indicate that they need to pay for gate, and we'll take care of it then as well.
Okay. Yep. So I think that's all I had for the gate wise. I don't think it's too wrong to probably throw this out there, but my mother-in-law, who's Cora, who's always at the gate, just had to have ankle surgery today. So she is not going to be at the first race, unfortunately. So if anybody would like to come down for a couple hours or kind of help at the gate, we would sure appreciate it, especially with all the updates that we're doing at the gate. But we're definitely shorthanded this time, unfortunately, on a reschedule. So if anybody has somebody that'd like to come and help at the gate, that's always a good thing to have, is more people at the gate, so.
Another question here popped in. Starting line, do you possibly have that handy again, or do you maybe anticipate if we get any more R word that we might need to alter the starting lineup?
No, for anybody that has the R word in their head, I would say simply get it out of your head. We're not going into this race thinking that's going to be an issue whatsoever.
Okay.
If it's nice and dry right now and we get, let's just say, the 1 inch that they're calling for, it's going to be, that's going in from Thursday night to Friday morning. We've got a whole day, another whole night that we're not supposed to get anything at.
Mm-hmm.
So I foresee it keeping a dust control is what that would be. We should be just fine. So at this point, no, I'm not going to say I'm changing or doing anything in preparation for the rain because I don't feel it's going to be an issue.
All right. Do you possibly have the adult lineup, and we can just go through that really quick?
I can bring it up if you give me just a second.
Yep, I can go through and talk about the youth. So we talk about youth first. We start with a super mini, then we go 90 production, 70 production, 90 stock. It'd be 12 to 14, 90 stock 10 to 11, and then our final row would be 90 stock 8 to 9. And then our second section, we always call them minis. We start with a 50 production, we'll go to 50 stock, and then 50 limited. And then for the adults, we go.
The one thing about the youth, though, that I want to bring up, I want to make this because we will look at it the first race, okay? The one thing that could always change that we see, the only change that we ever see in the youth lineup has to deal with the 70s, okay? So if we see the 70s, we're going to start them in behind the 90 production this time, okay? But we know we have some people that's moved out of those 70s. If we have newer riders in there that at the end of the day, basically the results don't show that they are finishing more towards the front, like the overalls with all the 90s starting behind them, we will probably move them to the tail, behind that. Or we might even start them in between some of the 90s, but maybe the older 90s start in front of the 70s, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So
it's not ever set in stone, so we evaluate.
Correct. And I know we have a couple starting in the 70s that are brand new and don't feel comfortable starting in front of those 90s. You got 40 coming up behind you right away. I've always said this: if they have one that's not comfortable, we can start another row behind everybody. And as soon as everybody takes off, then their time will start when the 70s take off. But sometimes when we're in that situation, Chris, and you know what I'm talking about here, don't worry about the finishes. Don't worry about the starts. It's just getting them out on the track and getting used to it,
Yep.
So it's a lot easier for them sometimes to start behind everybody and not have to have that pressure of them behind you. So that is always an option for us to do. So I have our lineups here. I'm trying to remember. We made a change. And I'm pretty sure that we want to stay with this one. So this is what I had us down for. I'm just looking at my. So we would start with the AA. Now, okay, I'm going to go through the whole thing. We'll start with the AA and then the A, then the open utility plus 30, the B class plus 40, schoolboy plus 50, C16, junior, C26, utility, women's, and first year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some changes that just everybody know that we look at. Schoolboy is I would call it an off class. I think that class should grow really fast with this detuning the 450, right?
Yeah.
But if we don't, we'll always take a look at that. If we, for say, don't have any, then obviously that class would come out. If we get kids that are in there that's brand new, that's up there because last year we only had 2 or 3 and they were pretty darn quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can see that in the overalls and everything. That could get moved way back if it's newer racers in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other thing is, so we got the junior classes splitting the 2 C classes, which we want. But up front, AA will typically always be first. If we do have that R word at any event, and we know that there's stuff out there that really needs cleaned off, if we put the open utilities up front, it really cleans that track off for them getting started. But open utility can basically fluctuate. We could be number 1, which we don't ever usually see it. We used to run them second, but our open utility, we went through a couple years where it kind of shrunk down a little bit, and our A class was very fast. So we made that change. We switched them. So we can update these all the time, but as of right now, that is how we're starting and lining up for the first race. We'll learn a lot after that first race. And if we think we need to make adjustments, we'll make adjustments. Now, Chris, on those adjustments, the one thing that I always get, you get a parent coming and saying, hey, we need to have juniors need to be in front of, the 40 class, maybe be behind B. And the question's why? Well, my son's in there and he got 10th overall. Well, that's fine, but we've got other kids in there. We got to look at it as a whole. You might have one of those kids might win the whole thing, and one of them might break and get dead last. It's where, a majority of them are setting, is how we'll make that choice. So school or junior class is one that could easily move up a little bit or move back. Either one. We've seen it further ahead and we've seen it further behind, so. And typically, let's look at the junior class. As far as you still consider almost a youth class, but in the adults, a lot of those kids, like we're just talking with Hoyts, have a ton of experience, So when you look at a junior kid maybe beating a C class rider on a 450, that's really not a shocker, It's not a shocker. It's by experience, so.
Yep. So.
Yeah, so hopefully that answers questions.
Yep.
I know that Joe Lutz asked me if I would get him a Mountain Dew before and start everybody else backwards, so he can at least get one whole shot. I haven't made the decision on that yet, so I'll get him the Mountain Dew, but I have hard for me to start everybody else backwards, so.
All right. All right. Well, like you said, pay attention to Facebook. If something happens, it's not going to happen, but if it were to happen, we'll get updates from you.
Chris, let's be honest with everybody. We have one shot at this.
We
It's our last shot.
Do you want to talk about it? That if we
No.
okay, we're not
It's
going
just-
to talk.
This is it. We will not be able to have another race this year down there. So we have one shot to make this happen. You know, we know that, you know, thankfully we did put the, not all races were blessed to have a rain date, and it could happen any month, but obviously the first one's the one you worry about the most. But at least we had that date out there and plenty of time. So maybe vacations can be put in if needed. But I know, you know, we've talked to some people in the last couple of days that unfortunately aren't going to be able to be there, you know, with priorities. And, you know, I'm going to mention one of them actually, because I was pretty proud of them. And people might think I'm funny to say this, but Kyle Burnham, I just talked with Kyle just last night, informed me he's not going to be able to be there because I had a prior commitment. And I'd read the text to you, but the text I thought was really cool. It hit me kind of hard. It's like the kids are pissed because we can't be there, but they had prior commitments, and that's part of keeping your word, you know. And unfortunately, that's a hard lesson to learn sometimes. And, you know, I'm going to say that's good parenting right there, you know. I wish they could be there, but at the same time, we know that other stuff's happened, and that's why we try to put that date out there, but it just doesn't always work. So there's going to be some people that can't be there, but I know other people's on the flip side of that, and now that can be there that couldn't be there the first race. So who knows what's going to happen, but I think it's going to be a good turnout. I think the track's going to be really good. I don't think it's going to be dusty, you know, which, Chris, let's be honest. If when Adam Ratliff and I'm sorry, I can't think of his name, Hanson Dean, when they busted their butts the week before we were supposed to have had our race, I mean, I'm telling you, these guys afterwards were sitting down by the trailer. They couldn't move. They busted their butts so much. And that day, they will tell you it was dusty. And the nice part about this is, you know, with all those riders out there, it's not going to be dusty. Maybe out in the open by the end of the day,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be your dust that we would have had the perfect weekend before when we were the weekend before we were supposed to have our first race. So what's that, the last week of March, I think it was.
April 4th. So yeah, you would have been last week.
Yeah. So no, I look forward to be a great race. So, but it's our one shot. So yeah.
We're going to get her in.
Yes. After talking to landowner today, I'm not that I was concerned before, but as anybody, you start looking at the forecast 10 times a day, you know, it changes. It's like, just get that out of your head. Just come race. You know, that's what we got to do, is get out of our head, just go build the track and be ready to go. So,
All right.
cool.
All right. I think
Anything?
we summed it up. I don't see any other comments here or questions.
And I think you said after the last podcast, you had a lot of people get pre-registered. I had somebody ask me today about, do they need to pre-register? The answer was no, you don't have to, but it's still an opportunity for them to still pre-register for this race up until Thursday at 5, correct?
Yep. I was just going to mention that we have until Thursday at 5. So then I can do what we need to do behind the scenes.
Yep. And then I think most people know this. I've had a lot of people ask me, but again, just to clarify, if you registered for the first race, if you paid, did everything, that will just be pushed back to the next race. If you can't make it, because we had someone, at least one that couldn't make it to this one, the rain date that was already prepaid and signed up, that will just get pushed back to their next race, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, nobody's losing anything, nothing like that. We just push it back. It's so much easier to do that than do refunds and then paying again and stuff. So we always just push them back. So, okay.
Yep.
All right. Anything else from you as far as what we need to see when we get to you or anything? Or by the time we see you, it's too late for anything?
Yeah. You've already done a lap. So by the time you see me on the track, yeah, the damage has been done. Let's see. Your last minute question coming through AMA. So we talked about earlier, where you need to look at everybody's AMA card. Also bring your helmets. I forgot to mention that with the new technology that we started last year, It's a simple, just like when you go through scoring, your helmet's got a transponder on it. We're going to use smaller credit card size scanners that we started last year. We're going to scan those helmets so it's quicker for us to pull up your information in the scoring system. But if you don't have AMA cards, still bring your helmet, and you can purchase AMA cards at registration. It takes a little bit of time because you got to fill out a form, and there's a few things we got to do, but they are available.
Gotcha. So I know you probably get tired of saying this all the time, but once again, okay, every time, no matter if I've raced with you for this is my 23rd year or my first race, every single time when you come to registration, even if I've pre-registered, what is the 2 things that I have to have or 3 things I've got to have with me every time?
You got to have your helmet, your AMA card. For under the youth, you need to make sure you have your minor form, and then additional cash or credit card if you haven't prepaid.
Gotcha. So 2 things for everybody, 3 things if you are
A minor.
parent and have a minor.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
And it's
We
also
still get-
important because when we ask for the helmets, lots of times it helps catch either a bad transponder. Everybody power washes, and everybody, after every race cleans that helmet, right? So there's oftentimes that dirt gets underneath that transponder, and that's a new way that we can test those transponders, make sure there's not an issue when you're out racing on the track and you come through and you're like, why didn't I get scored? Well, you might have a bad transponder. Just slightest amount of dirt underneath that barcode will cause it not to scan.
And I want you to be very firm on this and take it to the other side of that. So when you come up to register and you've parked way back way, and you come up there and you say, I'm pre-registering, I'm registering, but I forgot my helmet. The girls are going to tell you to go get your helmet before you can register. And why is that so important? Even if you have your deal on there, what happens, Chris, if I've raced other series and I have a different scanner?
Oftentimes, yep, you got a different transponder on there that will conflict with ours, with our scoring system. So we've got to either make sure you get our scoring system transponder put on your helmet, and then we also check. We haven't mentioned we check your sidebar code. So that's needed for backup scoring. So we'll be putting a lot of barcodes. It goes on each side of the helmet. That helps us all throughout the year. Just to keep track. Make sure that we get everybody scanned appropriately.
And I'm going to be this is almost the what's bugging Andy, but it's not.
I know.
Okay. It's
because
not.
there's one other thing that we need to talk about.
Well, really quick, I'm going to push you and Trace really, really hard this year because I've seen it screw a lot of people up. It's not you guys as the scoring girls. It's not your responsibility to make sure that Joey only has one scanner on. If Joey switches helmets and he has 2 or whatever, when he comes up, that causes, let's just say there's 20 people in his deal, okay? And he's running 10th and he has 2 things scoring. That throws everybody else off, correct?
It does.
And
Because
then
that one person that doesn't scan, let's say they're, first, second, third, well, then 4th place thinks he's 3rd, and it just messes up the whole class. And then I get questioned. And then, probably a good reason why we should start using the penalty box.
yes.
Then that'll take a lot of the pressure off myself and getting questioned, what happened here. I know I was in 1st, and why did I'm in 3rd now? So it'll help with a lot of those.
On that, where I unfortunately, I hate to say I'm going to be the bad guy, and I got to be. I've been there when someone hasn't scanned because they didn't put their deal on their helmet, or they got a different helmet and didn't bring it up or do whatever. No matter if we're supposed to have that, the responsibility falls back on the rider. So if I walk in there, I get called to this scoring all the time to help out, even though you don't want my help. And I see you in there stressed out sometimes because people are coming through scoring, but little Joey or maybe Joey's dad that's racing plus 30 or 4, you know what I mean, isn't scanning and he came through. That changes everybody else. You're in there trying to fix it. And then we got to correct it every time they come through. I don't want you to continue doing that. Them people need to be pulled off. Make sure that's corrected. I think that you should not affect everybody else by somebody making a mistake every lap. You know what I mean? So that needs to be fixed as far as I'm concerned. But then also, I just don't want it to become a thing for you, Chris. It's very simple. If you race another series, you race GNCC, you have the scanner on your helmet, or maybe it's on your flex bars. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And now you got ours up there and I'm coming through. That is your fault and nobody else's. Okay? There's nobody else's fault. So get it corrected. Don't wait till it happens. You know, we will pull you over. If I get called up there, I will pull that person over until it's either cut off or we figure it out, and then they can take off, compared to us messing everybody up that day just for a mistake that they chose not to do. So
Yeah.
look at your helmet, look at your machine. You know, if you race GNCC and you know that I got a fixed thing on there, take it off. You got it on your helmet, maybe get a different visor so you can switch visors, you know, whatever it might be. But please come prepared and don't put everybody else there. And the last thing I'll tell you about registration is, what time do I need to be
Hold on,
ready?
Andy. You're breaking up there. So
The last thing I was going to say is about scoring and registering, everything else. What time of the day, I want you to remind me, do I need to be registered?
hold on, you cut out. Do you need to be registered?
What time?
Oh, you need to be registered an hour before the start of the race.
Chris, I'm begging you right now, okay? Do not
Mhm.
let somebody sign up 45 minutes before the race. Do not let somebody sign up 30 minutes before the race, and then you have to download everything all over again and hold everybody up at the starting line.
Yeah.
We've said it many times. I feel like I'm being the bad guy all at once now, but if you're going to be late, call us. We'll get everything prepared for you. So when you get there, all you got to do is sign. You know, we can do it over the phone and you just come and get it signed. You know,
Mhm.
we can make it really quick, but please don't hold everybody up. Scoring does get a bad name, I think, sometimes. It's not always your fault we're late. It's somebody signing in late and us allowing them to that causes you to be late, you know. So let's get the year started off right. I've got some exciting for everybody at the starting line I'm excited about.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I can't wait. Yeah, can't wait for that. So get there early. We got a lot to talk about that first race. We got the Zach Schrock gloves to give away. I don't know if yet. I can't remember if it was going to be at the first or the second, or if they've told us, Styles have told us yet. But anyway, we'll have a little extra time at one of those to make sure we get that handled for Zach.
All right.
So
We'll have to wrap this up because your internet connection is not so great right now.
oh. Okay, I'm done. What was the last thing that you had though?
What was that?
You said something about you had one more thing.
We number reservation requests.
So I'll just be really quick on that since we're past time. Okay.
Yep.
Are you hearing me? Okay. I don't
Yeah.
know what's going on. So this is my fault. I'm saying that right away, Chris, not blaming you or Trace. Okay. But we started giving numbers out, you know, to where somebody in the youth could have it and somebody in the adults could have it. And we just ran into our very first situation, and it's causing a bigger situation than I ever thought it would be. And so we're done doing that. So the only way that you can have a number, so if you've got it now, you're going to get it. and we will publish, we will put it out there on the website, on the rules, as far as what criteria we're going for, on who wins or loses as far as keeping your number. But from now on, starting like a week ago, the only people that can have, we've had 3 of them since then have asked for a number and we've said no because it's already taken. So if an adult already has it, a youth will not be able to have that. So I can tell you right now, as long as they are both racing, in the points every year, the number 1 criteria will be who's had it the longest. Okay. That will be the number 1 criteria.
Okay.
If somebody isn't racing, then that will be the next one, just reserving your number just to reserve your number. So, but we will put all that out there in the rules so people know it. But the only people, Chris, that can have a number in the adult and the youth would be like you and your son. Okay. So it'd be 2 family members, maybe adult, the dad and the kid racing. And if you are in 2 different sessions like that, one session being all the youth with youth and the minis, number 2 would be the adults. And we would let you guys have the same numbers, knowing that one of you's got to give it up when, if someone goes to the adults or whatever. But
Yeah.
So, but we will get that out there for everybody.
All right. Well, thanks for clarifying that.
Yep.
All right. I don't see any other questions. You kept it to an hour and 22 minutes.
Close to it.
Close to it. Oh, we'll get her started. I mean, once we get that first one under our belt, the rest of them fly by. So, all right.
Hopefully at this time tomorrow, Chris, if you call me, I'll be at the track.
Also, not to put you on the spot, but are you going to do some sort of live stream Thursday night?
I will definitely try that. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It'll be a little easier this time since Big Joe will be there. Thursday or Friday, we'll see. So
okay.
Maybe
all right,
both.
something for us to all look forward to, at least kind of those that may be coming Friday night or Saturday, get a little update as to what things look like. So, all right. Thanks for all those that have kept with us. We'll see you all in a few days. Take
Sounds
care.
good. Thank you.